Greene, are you sitting down? I said, no, but I can. Is something wrong? She said, Miss Greene, your husband has been in a car wreck, and I need you to come to the hospital. I said, ma'am, you must be mistaken. I said, I talked to my husband no more than 30 minutes ago. I was in Walmart picking up groceries. He was in Food Line. And he said he was on his way home too. He hasn't made it here yet, but he was on his way home. I said, so you must be mistaken. She said, Miss Greene, can you come over to the hospital just to verify it? Grabbed my keys, went out the door, cranked the van, and I got almost to the overpass. And all of a sudden, I had this weight on my chest, and I couldn't see. I don't know what happened. I lost it. Well, a friend of mine's parents live right over the overpass in a trailer park. And I said, oh my God, God, please help me get to Miss Sue's house. I got to the door and I said, Mr. Ronnie, my husband is supposedly at the hospital, been in a car wreck. They want me to come over there, but I told him it won't him. I said, and I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I just can't drive. He said, Patty, don't worry about it. I'll carry you. I said, thank you. Well, all the way to the hospital, my heart was racing, and I just felt like I was going to lose it. I get to the door, and there's cops everywhere, Greenville PD, a doctor, and 2 security guards. I'm thinking, what in the world is going on? They carry me in this little conference room, and when she went to sit down, I saw my husband's wedding band halfway her finger. I said, where did you get that ring? She said, Miss Greene, I am so sorry. I said, no. Where did you get that ring? That's my husband's. I had it made for him. She said, Miss Greene, your husband's been in a terrible car wreck. And I honestly hate to tell you, but he's not going to make it. I said, lady, don't play with me like this. This is my life you're talking about. I just talked to him 30 minutes ago, and I know this can't be true. She said, did you say this was your husband's ring? I said, yes, ma'am. And I said, how in the world am I going to tell my daughter? How am I going to tell my grandson? I can't do this. I said, this room is closing in on me. Can you please open the door? She opened the door, and there was Greenville PD everywhere, and a lady detective that was standing in the hall crying, and I knew I had to be mad. I said, why is everybody crying? She said, Miss Greene, Officer Campbell passed away, and your husband's not going to make it either. I said, why do you keep saying that? Please don't say that no more. I said, I need to call my daughter.
I got there, I was the first one to get to Patty. And I can remember her looking at me with his wedding band on her finger, and she says, how am I going to tell my daughter that her daddy's not here anymore, or my grandson? How will we go on? And I had no answer for her.
As soon as I walked in and I seen the pastor, the chaplain there, I already knew what the situation was. I knew there wasn't any outcome that was going to be good.
We got upstairs to intensive care, and, you know, there was people everywhere. And Officer Weaver called us into a room, and I still hadn't seen my bill. And he wanted to talk to us, and I said, I need to see my bill. And he said, Miss Greene, I need to talk to you first. I said, okay. He explained the wreck, explained to me that no way whatsoever was my husband involved. And I said, right now, all I need is to see my Bill. A doctor came in. She said, well, I can only let you back first. I said, yes, ma'am. So I told Heather, sit right here, baby. I'll be right back. I went back there in that room, and they had Bill on the bed, had him hooked to life support. Nothing will ever erase my memory of that day. It was the awfulest sight I'd ever seen in my life. His head was humongous. He took all the impact from the wreck to his head. His lip was gapped open. His forehead was busted up. Back of his head was gone. Bleeding out of his eyes, every place that could actually escape blood, it was coming. And they had his hand laying out on the top of the sheet. And I took his hand. I said, oh my God, Bill, what will I ever do without you? I said, please don't die on me. I can't make this without you. Please don't leave me. And the nurse walked over to the bed, and she took me by my shoulders. She said, Miss Greene, you want to sit down beside Bill? I said, no, ma'am. I promised my daughter I'd only be a minute. I said, but please do me one favor. She said, what is that? I said, take that tube out of that gap in his lip and move it over. She said, it's not hurting him. I said, I know, but I don't want it there. I said, and please bandage up his head before my daughter comes back. I said, I don't know how she'll be able to survive looking at him anyway. I said, but please at least cover some of it for her sake. So it was probably 10 minutes or so. She come and got us. And I said, Heather, your daddy looks bad, baby. She took me by the hand. She said, Mama, please go with me. I said, I will. I ain't going to let you go by yourself. She walked in there and walked to the side of the bed, and when she looked down on her daddy, she fell right to the floor. She said, Daddy, 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 I won't forget him. She said, what am I going to do without you? And I was speechless. I didn't know what to say. He had bandages all around his head, blood coming out the corner of his mouth. And you stand there and you tell him, Billy, we'll take care of Patty.
His face was swelled up and it didn't look like Billy Ray. I wish I hadn't seen him because it was bad.
It wasn't an easy thing for none of us. We stayed there for 2 days at the hospital. None of us would leave. Hoping. Of course, they'd already told us there was no hope. But how do you lose that? It's a pain and a loss you cannot describe. I honestly do not wish it on anyone. I miss him every single day.
Patty's a very strong woman, but I know that she misses Billy. I know that that's her helpmate. That's her husband. That's her best friend, and I just know it's a big loss for her.
You know, she lost her best friend. She lost someone she's, been together for so many years, the love. That's, you can easily move on and, you know, find somebody special, you know, but nobody's going to ever take the place of my dad, not for her.
Patty, she's lost a husband. She's been with him since, I think, 15, 16. And it's just affected her, you know, traumatically, because that's her love. That was her love of her life.
I would change every bit of it for her, because I know the hurt that she's been through. I've seen her crying. I've seen her crying on my shoulders, and it's just an awful, awful feeling to see her go through that.
And she was crying and alone. And I made up my mind. I told my daughter Sharon, I said, I gotta go. This house don't mean nothing. This stuff I got don't mean nothing if I can't be there to help her through this. So I got rid of all my stuff, all but a few things. And I came to live with her. And she had a rough way to go for a long time. But I was here.